First things first, what is a white hole? A white hole is the mathematical opposite of a black hole. They are predicted to exist because math. And since math is the language of life, the universe, and everything, ergo, the square root of 1764 is 42, they are theoretically possible, if not probable. The first thing you need is a giant interstellar black hole, like this. As we know, black holes get their name from the fact they give no light. As a matter of strict fact, they don't give very much of anything at all. Just some Hawking radiation perhaps, which is the ultimate demise of any unfed black hole given enough time. They will simply evaporate. Billions and billions and billions of years later, they will evaporate. Now, because of the extreme density of a black hole, it creates gravity so strong that anything that gets sucked into it is never heard from again. This is called information. Anything that passes the point of no return, or event horizon. And this is where all scientific certainty breaks down into a cacophony of scientific best guesswork. The theories run amok, and each is just as unprovable as the next. Some will argue that although the information is highly compressed into a singularity, it is technically still there and technically retrievable. Or at least theoretically retrievable. Another theory is that it is destroyed. The gravity and the circumstances surrounding the transformation into a product of such infinite density is irreversible and can never be undone. Now, the only problem with this theory is that we already have a contradicting scientific theory known as the conservation of mass, which dictates mass can neither be created nor destroyed, it can only change form, change medium. And then we can revisit Hawking radiation, where he describes the slow death of a black hole through loss of radiation, the only thing that the black hole can steadily emit. And lastly, of course, is the titular white hole, the broken dam of the universe, an unstoppable spewer of all desire, all make and model of every element known to mankind, and probably a whole bunch that we don't know, because who are we kidding, huh? Now, to understand the properties of a white hole, you must first address the properties of a black hole, because it is the opposite of one to the other, like yin-yang. When physicists like to describe the properties of gravity and black holes and giant stars, they like to use an analogy where they put a ball on a sheet. Like a bed sheet, and it creates this large dip in the bed sheet, and they use that as an allegory for describing the actual fabric of space and time, which the density and mass of these objects are able to distort. And when that takes place, they actually distort time itself. As seen in Interstellar, time spent too close to a black hole will cause you to leap into the future, which is directly taken from Einstein's special theory of relativity. Meaning that one of the characteristics of the theoretical white hole would be an opposite in that bend in space and time. It would be the opposite direction, where a black hole will lead you into the future. A white hole is of the past. And instead of gravity, it would have anti-gravity. It would push objects away from it rather than pull it in. It would be infinite sparsity rather than infinite density. Now, perhaps in the flux of the infinite density and the infinite sparsity of these two competing wholes, maybe that is the real Einstein-Rosen bridge, the real wormhole, the real singularity. So because of the time dilation that is created, you have to ask not where is a white hole, the real question is when is a white hole? And I think that everyone can appreciate the conclusion that I've drawn, and that is that there is only, has only been, and ever will only be one white hole that will ever exist, and it was a little thing called the Big Bang. Because the white hole exists in the past, it is a creature of the past, it exists in the ultimate past, the very beginning of time. So the conclusion here, the end of this story is that black holes and white hole, are nothing more than the cosmic wheel of time, the ongoing vacuum cleaner and recycling of time and product and material. That is the real theory of everything, of everything. I would like to thank you for taking the time to appreciate this video, or just looking at it and not liking it, or telling me to fuck off. It's whatever, man. It's whatever.